on Spadina in Toronto. Always looking good.
I try.
You do look good. You really do. I've not seen this suit. Who are you wearing? I've never asked that before.
I don't know. This
It's
is like
fancy.
This is pre-COVID suit, so a little bit tight. I mean, got the
Right.
the COVID-15 going on, so hopefully it lasts today.
I was going to say COVID-15. You've done well. So you kept it to 15.
15 is a generous number.
So Ben, give us a quick rundown of the House of Cannabis store.
Yeah, we have currently 4 stores across Ontario. Toronto being our first one.
Right. Was this the first one?
Yeah, that's the first
Okay.
one. Yeah.
On Spadina. Okay.
And then we got
near my in-laws. That's the one near my in-laws.
Yeah, I mean, like Toronto's wild. I mean, just the culture and the not only cannabis culture, but like people in general. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And we got Barrie, Kitchener, and Keswick.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you got the Toronto, Barrie, Keswick, and what was the last one? Sorry.
Kitchener.
Yeah. And how is it running sort of stores far away from each other?
Oh man, like I'm racking up the mileage for sure.
What do you drive? I mean, what do you wear? What do you drive? Where are the stores?
I'm driving right now a Ram 1500.
Okay.
Kind of regretting it right now. I mean,
it's a lot of gas.
Oh, I know. I just saw it this morning. I was like, I think it's hitting 2 tomorrow.
Is there an inverse relationship between gas prices and cannabis prices?
Yeah. One's going up, one's going down.
That's right. And what made you want to get into the cannabis retail game?
I mean, like it's multiple factors. I mean, number one, it's challenging. I mean, knowing it's a new industry and with the rules and regs, it's definitely a sector that will challenge an individual and a team. Also, I mean, like I want to fight the stigma as well. I mean, like, we've heard like really good things about health benefits and stuff like that. Unfortunately, we cannot.
You can't say that. Right.
Yeah.
You say it in the car if you want.
Oh, can we?
No, I'm just kidding.
HEC might send me a fine.
Don't worry, they got their own problems right now.
Oh man, but like it's crazy. I mean, like I got a lot of calls and people coming in asking for like, pain relief, cancer treatment, stuff like that. I'm
Sleep,
like, can't say anything about it, but it's an interesting industry for sure.
And how long has your longest store been open, or your oldest store been open?
I think almost a year and a half now.
And have things changed as terms of consumer preference, consumer knowledge? Like, has that changed at all over the past?
A bit. I mean, our bud tending team, not only our bud tending team, but the industry in general is starting to change people over from like, what's your highest THC to like more like the terps and
good.
Like, how's it finished? Is it hang dried or hand trimmed?
Wow,
so it's good. I mean, like starting in the beginning, it's like what's the highest thing you have? So now people are caring about the quality of the bud, and I think people are now being intrigued by the infused cannabis pre-rolls and beverages and stuff like that.
Well, it's interesting because just about pre-rolls in general, which I'm obligated to talk about pre-rolls if we're driving in pinners. Small format, iconic pre-rolls. See, I just said I put all the words in there. Then they let me drive around in the car. But it is interesting. 2 trends that are interesting, certainly related to pre-rolls. One is small format multi-packs.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot more of those than there were before. Like whether that's COVID or people like them or both. Sort of dog walker side, like a 1 person 1 joint 10-minute thing.
Yep.
That's one. But then the infused pre-rolls too. Like we were in Vegas over MJ Biz, and like you go into the dispensaries and it's like pre-rolls. It's like pre-rolls, infused pre-rolls, flower. Like it's just a huge category, and people are wanting that, right? They want the interesting. They want the interesting flavor. They want obviously the high potency, but also it's interesting to see sort of how that develops.
For sure. I mean, like I hate the 1 gram pre-rolls where I have to cut it because I can't finish it.
Right. It's like
these are great.
The hammers. It's like and my kid swings a smaller bat at like Little League, right? Like it's like a 32-inch bat. Well, it's interesting. And look, you're on Spadina.
Yep.
So you're on like the Chinatown facing Kensington Market by block, I would say. And it's super competitive.
Oh, 100%.
Right, like I just walked through I told you my in-laws live on Oxford, so just south of college. It's actually on the same block as the store, roughly. And I walked through last week, there's just a lot of competition, big and small, right? There's some really cool operators in there. And how is that, like, I feel like Kensington Market, people come to the neighborhood for the cannabis culture from far and wide. I mean, I go and I live down the street, but like, are you finding that that's a cool part of your sort of clientele?
Yeah, for sure. We get a mix of both the Kensington crowd as well as the normal Spadina commuter traffic.
Right.
So it's a good mix of different people, and that makes us kind of think about our inventory strategy a little bit different.
Yeah.
So we have
In what way?
Like I think with the
Like grab and go kind of.
grab and go is definitely a big
Yeah.
thing we want to try target.
Yep.
CBD products as well for
Yeah.
the commuter crowd.
Yeah.
We have a lot of like older people coming into our store looking for their CBD, looking
Yeah,
for
yeah.
edibles and stuff like that.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Can I ask you like a real operational question
sure.
that like if I don't ask and Krista sees this, she'll be mad?
Oh yeah.
Like how much do you learn on a daily, weekly, monthly basis about inventory and inventory planning, and like how much does like the day-to-day or the week-to-week influence your purchasing from the OCS and like your sort of array of
Almost every day. I think,
like what do you look at? When you wake up and you look at the previous day, like what are the first 2 or 3 things you look at, like aside from say like gross revenue, but like what else?
okay, so in the shower I pop up my emails. Thank God the iPhone is waterproof.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I look at like, all right, like what sold the most like last few days.
Do you have a little teeny squeegee?
I should put my hand out, wipe it on the towel.
Right. You hold it out like this.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
But we look at like any anomalies. Like let's say if
Ah.
someone came in and bought like 50 edibles, right?
Right.
Some of these are like point something grams, right?
Right,
And it's
right,
like,
right.
all right, that's an anomaly. Like let's make sure that we make a note of it so that next reorder we don't,
We don't
fuck up the order.
we don't incorporate that
Exactly.
as like our data. It's like someone came in and was having a bachelorette or a bachelor.
Exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
got it.
So
Okay.
like just looking at it on a daily
Okay.
basis, weekly we touch base with the team, see like, what are the trends coming up?
Yeah,
Is there,
yeah.
like more beverages now that the weather's getting warmer?
Right.
Or- Yeah, so it's almost like you have to stay on top of it because that's
Right.
your biggest expense other than payroll is your inventory, right?
And is it art and science? Like is it
Oh, yeah,
is it like knowing the neighborhood you're operating, because you're operating in 4 very different neighborhoods, and are you noticing? Do you then break it down either in your head or on your phone or in the shower, like delivery, like online sales and delivery versus in store versus any other way people find you?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Once we look into like if it's in-store delivery, I think we have to sit down on the shower this time. Sit down and pull up the different
On the shower
reports.
seat? No, I'm just kidding. That's the waterproof screen.
Oh,
It's a
I
lot
know.
of this happening in the shower. Ben.
Oh, that's my thinking chamber,
I love it.
But we want to see like what kind of like what's the purchasing history like and what's
Yeah.
the trend for delivery, because that's totally different from walk-in traffic.
Yeah.
Right?
Like-
People have more time to think about what they're buying now.
And is the basket size bigger? Is it
Oh yeah, it's much bigger.
and more varied? Like, are they ordering entirely different things, or is like everybody wants pre-rolls whether they're in store or walking, and when they order for home they're ordering larger
Exactly.
format?
I think once they're home, they look into like the larger formats.
Yeah.
When they're walking, it's like beverages, edibles,
It's grab and go.
pre-rolls. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Interesting. And that has to factor into your inventory too, because you can't. I mean, you're not delivering from Keswick to Mississauga, right? Like
No.
it's. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of 3-dimensional chess, and like you're not a one-shop operator, but you're not 50, but each one is individual, and then obviously another difficult part is like the team and the staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
How has that been through COVID? Because like were there ups and downs, like numbers of people you needed, obviously,
For sure.
and like the job market's tough.
Job market is tough across all sectors. It's tough to find good people.
I'm saying it's tough for employers, I guess I should say.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's pretty good if you're an employee and looking for a job, right?
But then it's like we're dealing with like COVID and
Yeah.
like the lockdowns opening.
Yeah.
And then obviously we want to make sure we're staffed adequately so that if someone does unfortunately get COVID,
Right, you can
then-
back up.
Exactly. So we have the luxury of like our corporate team is always around. I mean,
Yep.
like, that's why I rack up the mileage to support where I can.
Right.
But it's definitely a challenge for sure.
Yeah. Added to that, and like things that people like in Southern California have to deal with is like the weather.
Oh, yeah.
Like getting from your Toronto store to Keswick on the regular in February.
Couple close calls.
Yeah, that's a lot of like lake effect snow. I don't know if Simcoe spouts off lake effect snow, but it's definitely snowier up there than it is in Toronto. And as you sort of, we're obviously doing this because the lift is happening here in Toronto. Like as you look ahead, as things, I'm going to be very optimistic, normalize from COVID. People, I mean, even last night in Toronto was like, it was wild on the street. Like, people are out more this week than maybe any time in 2 years. Like I would imagine that certainly the Toronto location, like pretty hopeful because foot traffic is just outrageous right now.
Yeah.
I would think.
I love it. I mean, like the city's back to life.
Yeah.
I mean, I think yesterday just getting downtown took me an hour and a half.
Right, it's like it's
So-
wild out there.
I know,
Yeah.
so I'm excited. I mean, like we finally start seeing like more of these events happening.
Yeah.
Cannabis is a social sector, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not like it's just yourself. I mean, finally we get to meet more people from different industries.
Yeah.
Have more events, share ideas, share thoughts, share challenges.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting time to be in our industry for sure.
It is. I'm also excited. I don't know if it affects sales at all, but like the sort of outdoor concert season.
Yes.
I think it actually starts. I think the Junos are Sunday, and they're outside at Budweiser Theater, Budweiser Stage. But then it's like we have a bunch of tickets like back to back to back to back to back. I just think that cannabis at those shows is going to be great.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great.
Cannabis anywhere is great. Let me just
Oh,
start
yeah.
with that. But the cannabis and music are certainly go hand in hand. Ben, so we are obviously we've driven from your shop. We're now at the convention center, about to be. Any last words? This is my last day. You were so great. You got me a gift. Oh, I like the bag too. Down. Oh man, this is fancy.
You did a great job, man. Like, listening to you during COVID definitely made me learn a lot about stuff in the industry, and just like hearing your voice every morning is a great way to start. After the reports. I
hear a lot of people say that, but none of those people are related to me. None of them I have to get to school in the morning. Those people are sick of hearing from me. Well, that means a lot, and we've been watching sort of your trajectory and really obviously admire the hustle for sure, but also just the strategy you put in every day and sort of how you think about the business, where you locate, how you staff up, the products you carry, the approach that you take. Like, I just think that's super thoughtful, and I hadn't thought of getting a waterproof phone, but now that you mention it, I think I
save 10 minutes every day.
10 minutes every day. Also, it permissions a much longer shower.
Oh, I know.
Like, I was actually working. If you're a lawyer, you could bill for that time. You're like, you took a shower. It's like, I know, but I was on the phone for 7 minutes. That's 2 chunks of 6-minute times. Ben, we're here at the Lift & Co Expo. I want to thank Georgino for the ride, and Pinners for the ride.
Pinners.
And we'll catch up with you later today.
All right.
Thanks for the gift, man.
No
Be well.
problem. Oh, this is smooth.
That was pretty good, eh?
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Ben